another edition of the Matt Burleson Coaches Show. As you'll find out in just a minute, we're going to also call it look back at the Midnight Madness game from this past Friday, again, that we had against Bacon County. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. Coach, thank you for joining us. I know you've had a busy day.
No problem.
So glad to have you here. Let's hit our sponsors and then a quick announcement about some other football that's coming up. Want to thank Merchants and Citizens Bank, Baby C, Baby Do, Willie and Patricia Holly, Gage Harrelson Contractors, Graham Insurance Company, Telfair Snapshots, Family Medical Care, Dion with Dion's Triple Threat, DJ's, the Willow Creek Restaurant, Fat Boys Camo, Hit Them Custom Tees, Shelters, and much more. Stamps Walker Insurance Agency, Golden Isles Healthcare, Riles Drugstore, LG Custom Services, Sunny Smiles Pet Grooming. I better do that one. I'll get in trouble. Joy's Florist and Gifts, State Farm Insurance in McRae, Georgia. Will Gardner, the agent. Your Choice Healthcare of McRae. Riles Outfitters, Cedar Lane Supper Club, the Telfair County Recreation Department, Deep and Deeper Cleaning, Friends of Little Old Muggy State Park, and the Telfair County Chamber of Commerce. Some news here that I was sharing with Coach Burleson. The Telfair Rec Department is very proud to announce that they have registration going on for football, cheerleading, and tennis. Again, the registration started on August the 25th, and it runs through September the 5th. You can register online, and I believe even pay online, at telfairrec.com, all lowercase. The registration fee is $45. And here's what we're offering. We have flag football for our 4- and 6-year-olds, tackle football for 7- and 8-year-olds, tackle football for 9 and 10. They're in their own groups, so they'll be age appropriate and hopefully size appropriate. Tackle football for 11 and 12-year-olds. Cheerleading for everyone ages 4 to 12, and then tennis for everyone ages 4 to 14. The actual dates of practices and the season will be announced after signups as we see how many. And again, if you would take this number down, Tony Young, the director, will be glad to answer any questions. That's at 229-318-0661. And if for some reason you can't get in touch with him, please feel free to get in touch with me, and I'll find Tony for you. My number, 229-315-2569. And again, Coach, before we get into our questions, again, I know you know how important it is to have that rec ball as they're growing up.
Very important, for the lifeblood of the program and to keep things going. It's vital that these guys grow up around football and continue to learn the game and play the game and grow the love for the game. So also too, we need some guys. I know I got a lot of former players in town now, so you guys get out there and volunteer to coach these guys.
Absolutely. And again, not only, of course, will it be a great feeder program as it has been, as we see most of these kids that play, a lot of them came from rec. It's also a lot of fun. You get to make a lot of friends, and there are a lot of life lessons that you can learn from it.
Absolutely.
So, again, we look forward to it. Coach, speaking of life lessons, boy, we had a couple of life lessons on Friday, especially before the game. Most of y'all know that before the game there was a lightning delay. We didn't get started till about 10:30, and that's certainly understandable. The safety of the players, the spectators, everyone, the coaches, very important. But Coach, just kind of on a long delay like that, 3.5 hours, tell us a little bit about if it had any effect on our players. And I'll be honest with you, I was a classroom teacher, and I would teach for an hour and a half. I don't know about that 3-hour stuff, man. So tell me kind of what all happened with you guys.
Yeah, it was a time.
I can imagine.
The kids were, geeked up and they're ready to go because they came in from warm-ups,
Right.
starting to get dressed, put the pads on and everything, and then, we had to relax for a minute. We thought, originally it was only going to be, maybe 30, 40 minutes, so they were still ready to go. We went over, the game plan again, everything,
Sure.
just keep the focus, make sure they were hydrated, and then it just kept coming. We were talking about that earlier, it was on the radar too. It came down from the east and worked southeast, but instead of going through it literally turned around
And came
right back through. So
Wow.
that's why it took so long. But It was tough. The kids, we gave them some snacks to try to keep, teenage boys in and they stay hungry.
Oh, absolutely.
So, we tried to keep some food in their belly, try to keep entertaining. But I'll be honest with you, they got very antsy, and I was antsy myself. But at the same time, I felt like they did a really good job of keeping themselves under control. They were just itching to get out there and play.
Absolutely.
So every time I would go to a meeting with the officials or athletic directors, wherever they come out, are we playing? So guys, I will let you know when we're ready to go.
Exactly.
So finally, right around 10, I told them to go ahead and let's go. And considering the long delay, I felt like we came out and the first half played some really good ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we come out and build a 14-3 lead. And Coach, that kind of leads me into what we're looking at here. What were some things in that first half that you saw that were very effective? Some positive notes, things that we pull, getting that 14-3 lead into the half.
Right. I felt like we moved the ball well. Offensively, took care of the football. That was a problem for us. The first game.
Right.
was turnovers, so we did a good job of taking care of the football. We got to continue to do so.
Right.
Had a score right there with not much time left on the clock.
That was a great drive.
To Ian, Cam had a nice catch down the sideline and then punched it in. So that was great to be able to get a big lead right there. Defense was very good.
Oh, great.
In the first half, and then we had an abbreviated halftime, and played really well for another quarter and a half, and then we moved, like you said, we moved the ball, but we didn't finish off drives.
Right.
So we got to learn to finish. We also got to learn to finish the game.
Right.
We played a lot cleaner game, but we got to finish the game. And if we're up 14-3, if we could come out and we just score, one more touchdown, I think we've got the game under control.
Sure.
But we never just put that final nail in the coffin. And, we allowed them back into it and gave them some momentum. They hit some big third and long, fourth long plays.
Yep.
We had some penalties, true or false, whether they were or not.
You got to live with it.
Right.
Yeah.
So some untimely penalties, and they had some big plays on some. I think one was like a 4th and 18 or 20 or something like that. But we got to fit, and then we drove down and had the ball inside the 5 and didn't finish it. So that was just kind of the big thing this week is we played cleaner, but now we've got to finish drives and we got to finish the game.
Absolutely. Kind of going off script a little bit. I'd like to go back on that Cam Williams catch.
Okay.
On the catch that Cam made, I believe it was a contested catch, in other words.
Yeah.
And the aggressiveness and the energy of this young man, I mean, he wasn't going to be denied on that, Coach. And, I mean, that to me really got the momentum going for this team.
Yeah, it was a good pass. We had great protection. Cam made a great catch. Like I said, he was tangled up with the guy, and they both kind of came down together. Of course, when it's a dual possession, it goes to the offense.
Right.
So great, and then we hustle up, and I think it 2 plays, and then we scored. We got it in there, and they did a good job with that. And then I think we went for 2.
Right, and I think we made the 2 on that one, didn't we?
We did make the 2 on that one. I think we missed the first kick, extra point, and then we got the 2-point to get it to 14. But it was a great operation. In a short field with not a lot of time, and that's what we expect our offense to do, and we just got to do more of the same.
And I thought the accuracy on that pass by your quarterback, DeCardia, was very good. And again, like we said, led him a little bit, and he made a great catch on that. So again, let's talk a little bit about the defense. Again, like I say, from an offensive standpoint, there were a lot of positives. Defensively, we saw a lot of different things here, and again, I thought we did a pretty good job. You're right. There was a couple of plays, obviously, that got away from us, but I want to mention a couple, and I think this was on the defensive side. We kept hearing Quez Rowe's name a lot, and I want to say DJ Jordan a lot, if I'm not mistaken. I know Quez. I had DJ down, I thought, for something. But comment on some of the players, that you saw on the defensive side that really made some contributions because, boy, and that's one thing, Coach, I'll tell you, you could see on both sides of the ball, there's no quitting this team.
No,
None whatsoever.
I,
The energy's incredible.
yeah, I felt like we also played better as a team. We're like this. That's what I try to remind people too, and I actually try to remind myself and the kids. We have some older kids, but they're inexperienced kids.
Right.
And then we have a lot of sophomores playing or some juniors that haven't played before. So they're still learning and growing themselves individually, and they're also still learning and growing as a team and as a unit. And they're coming together.
Right.
Obviously, myself as a coach, we're hurry up and wait, and we can be very impatient with that. But we're getting there, not as fast as I would like, but we're getting there. But back to what you said, Quez, I thought he had outstanding game on defense.
Oh,
One of
God.
the best game. He's a kid that's played a lot of ball for us. He played
Right.
as a freshman, and I felt like that was one of his better games as a Trojan. And we need Quez to keep doing that, and some other ones to join him. But Braylon had a pretty good game defensively. There was some other DJ Holly.
Right.
Was playing some free safety, and he was getting down there making some good tackles. But with the exception of just a couple plays, I felt like our secondary did a pretty good job. The D-line was doing a great job of keeping Quez clean,
Right.
so that he could make the
He
tackles.
could clean it up.
Right. So team defense right there. But really played well defensively for the most part.
Right.
But like I said, we're learning, we're growing, and we made a couple mistakes, and sometimes those mistakes are costly. Sometimes you can overcome, and sometimes they're a little too costly. So we learned a lot from that game. I felt like we got better from game 1 to game 2, and now we got to continue to get better from game 2 to game 3. As we've got this game Friday, and then one more, and then it's time for region play.
Exactly. Well, Coach, again, and like I say, those of y'all that see I look down a lot here because I'm looking at my script, and I'm going off of it a little bit here. At the beginning of the year, we were talking a little bit. We want to win every game, and of course we want to. But the adjustments and the learning process, I think, and you correct me if I'm wrong, is really big, I guess, in these first 4 non-region.
Right.
Because obviously, again, as you had said before, we're building team chemistry. So again, looking at these first 4 ball games, again, obviously the goal is to win this Friday. Mm-hmm. But I'm assuming, based on what you're saying, that you're able to implement some of the things you look at during these games and are able to make corrections, as we said, from game 1 to game 2. Am I on the right track there?
The whole point, like I said, we obviously want to win every game. We started 0-2 last year.
Right.
And then figured it out and went on tear. And those guys were trying to learn as well how to lead and everything, and this group's starting to figure it out. But everything is to get us ready for region play.
Right.
You can go 4-0 in the non-region section, but if you don't do what you're supposed to in region play, then you're going to be sitting at home.
Exactly.
Come November. So we got to make sure that we get all the mistakes fixed and that we're on point. So because you don't have time when region play starts to learn and grow. You got to be ready. So we got some more young guys. We're trying to learn and grow up through special teams or even through JV games. So that I think it's September 19th,
right,
when we play Montgomery County. We've got to be ready to go.
Absolutely. And so, again, this has been a good learning experience. And like we say, we don't go into these games saying, well, let's just learn something. No, we're going in to win.
Absolutely.
On that. Let's talk briefly about special teams. I was impressed on a number of things. The 2-point conversion I thought was very good on that. And, again, that goes back to, like you say, finishing drives. Were there some other things special team-wise, Coach, that you looked at and you thought, okay, this is getting a little bit better, or we're working a little bit on this? What are some things, special teams, because obviously you know it better than I do being on the field, but that 3-point kicker, the 3 points that Bacon made, that was the difference in the game, and that's a special teams thing.
Absolutely.
Well, how are we looking on different things, kickoffs, punt returns, et cetera, assessment of the special teams at this point?
Kickoff was still pretty good on that as far as covering down. Punt was good. I think we lost container one time. They were able to get a big return down the sideline. We got it out of bounds, but we've got to not allow ourselves to lose contain. Did a good job on kickoff return again. Had a big return early, and then they stopped kicking it deep. So The bonus with that is, I mean, you don't get the opportunity for big return, but typically now you're going to get the ball somewhere 35, 40, maybe even further
Exactly.
yards. So you're going to start with a lot better field position than, if you're at the 20. And some of those um, logistical things say, the further you start down the field, the greater your chance is at scoring
Right.
points and things like that. So, special teams is a big deal. I felt like we punted the ball well again and flipped the field
Right.
when we needed to. So we just got to continue to clean things up. Obviously, not just offense and defense, but special teams as well. We got to be able to make an extra point and
Right.
kick that when times get there. And I think we're getting better there. And the two, if we don't or we do want to go for two, we got to be able to do those things. So, it's not just offense and defense.
That's right.
It's 33.3% of the game. So, you got to put a lot into that as well.
I think we got a lot of positive things to look at as we continue, and that's one of the things I think sometimes people don't always realize. And again, that great coaches are great teachers, and you've got a great staff
Right.
that's there that's actually teaching these kids and showing them the way. And I think that's so important to do.
Well, like you said, we've got a great group of coaches, and not only are they good teachers, they're good men.
Yeah.
And they really are invested in these young men. They love them. They can sit there and cut up with them and talk life and talk
Sure.
ball and that kind of stuff. So that's what I love about these guys, and I'm glad that the majority of the staff, we've all been together for a long time. So continuity is a big thing.
Oh, that's absolutely right.
Like I said, we're getting there, and like I said, I think sometimes as coaches too, we're very impatient because we're so competitive,
Right.
and we want to win everything, and I myself am very guilty of it because I want to win no matter what we're doing. My wife and daughter can tell you that when we're playing games at the table.
Might have to have them
Yeah.
come over here and talk to me about that.
Maybe
That's
not.
it.
Maybe
no,
not.
No.
But sometimes when you go back and you look at it afterwards and you're out of the heat of the moment, you're like, okay, maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought or whatever, or saw a lot more positives than what you did live. So
Right.
we're getting there. We're a work in progress. It's just we're not getting there as fast as I want to.
Well, that's all right. Well, Coach, I'm going to hit a controversial thing we talked about earlier. First of all, I want to publicly thank Amanda Burleson of the Cowbell Choir Chorus for giving me my own special cowbell. And again, it's going to be here every week, and I'm taking it to the ball games, even if I'm announcing. So I hope I don't get you guys a penalty on that. The reason I bring that up a little humorously is because at this last game, there was a situation where both fan bases, we had to announce they had to stop using the horns and the noisemakers on both sides. And, Coach, again, you use discretion, of course, as we discuss this. Kind of what's the rule about fans using horns and all and the cowbells and basically what's maybe our can and can't do things here, I think, just so we would all be further educated.
Right, well, you can use the cowbells.
Yeah.
That's just part of it. You're not supposed to use the air horns and things like that or whatever. And there was a situation where our quarterback here, because they were blowing it right when the snap was about to be made. So it was, one of those situation issues there where our cowbells are kind of continuous.
Yep, that's true.
Throughout the game or whatever. So it was just an issue where, the official said if we're making them stop that, then their coach said, y'all got to stop that, which, whatever.
Right. The Bacon County then had a fan that was blowing the horn
Right.
at the snap count, which can disrupt, if they're not careful, the quarterback and the whole offense. Is that reasonable?
So that was the issue there, and the referees got that fixed, and they felt like if you got to stop that, then this.
I understand.
So whatever. We just wanted to play the game and
exactly
be able to finish the game.
So, Coach, when we go to Barrien, I'm assuming we can bring the cowbells.
Yes, sir.
And again, and the noisemakers. But again, obviously, like we say, it was just one of those things that it was a weird night. It was so late.
It really was.
It was different. Well, speaking of this week, let's talk a little bit about Barrien County.
Okay.
Barrien County is coming off a 1-1 record. They had a big offensive explosion against Lanier, put up 47 points. And again, like we say, this is going to be another challenge for us as we go down to Barrien. It's about an hour and a little over an hour and a half maybe from here.
Somewhere right around an hour and a half.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about what you can as far as Barrien, what we are to anticipate, and maybe what they've got for us to face.
Well, this is the third bigger classification school we've played in a row. They're in the same region, same classification as Bacon County.
Right.
So, they're a little bit bigger than us, which is another big challenge, which, we love.
Sure.
We love. It gets us ready. And they have a new coach, Coach Dean, who came over from Cook. He's doing an excellent job. They're well coached. They're big like Bacon County was.
Right.
They're physical. They want to run downhill. They've got some good athletes. They will also get the ball to space. They got a big, tall receiver, kind of like Bacon did.
Yeah.
Kind of similar. Now, they do it a different way, but similar style, look, and everything that Bacon is. Like I said, though, they're well coached. Not sure who the defense coordinator is, but they do a great job. You can tell that those coaches have really poured into it.
Right.
And those guys are getting after it, and they've bought into, what Coach Dean is selling. So it's a big game. They're, like I said, they're coming off of his first career win as a head coach. So I know they're excited, which coincidentally enough, Lanier County, that's what we'll play next week.
Right.
But we're excited about the opportunity to go down to Nashville and compete again and see if we can get a little bit better and, maybe come away with a big W.
Absolutely. Want to salute the fans that stayed during the ball game the other day.
Yes.
Again, like we say, with the 3-hour delay like it was, a lot of fans left and then came back, which was good.
Probably got a snack, too.
Oh, absolutely. I won't mention who, but I got a call from them. They said, Tim, call me when the game starts back. We're going downtown and getting something to eat, which I don't blame them. I mean, that was fun. Exactly, I tell you what. But it was, and we do applaud the fans. And, Coach, as we go on the road, I know we hit this every week when we go on the road. But, again, if you don't mind just commenting about how important it is to have that fan support on the road.
Very much so. Like you said, though, first off, thank you so much to all the fans and the cheerleaders.
Oh, the cheerleaders did a great job.
All the cheerleaders were there. They were there. They didn't leave. I know some of Bacon's people left or whatever. But a lot of fans on both sides, they stayed. They wanted to. They were already here. But thank you to our fans that stayed and cheered those guys on. We're going to need all of them again and more, and our band parents and the cheer and everybody to head down to Nashville this Friday as we go down there and, be loud. And
absolutely.
We do travel very well.
We do. We really do.
And just make it a home game environment for our young men and cheer them on to victory.
We're looking forward to it. Again, I checked with Barrien County officials today, so we are going to be able to live stream it.
Perfect.
Which we're glad so. But that doesn't mean we don't want you to come down. Please come to the ball game, but if you can't, obviously, with Deep Productions. Coach, again, just one quick thing. I know this is real early to even talk about it, but we still, again, I think we mentioned it doing the Cow Patty Bingo later in the year. That's one of our big fundraisers.
Right. So when we get to the end, we've got an open date at the end.
Right.
So we're talking about doing there. We'll get the date out when we, finalize it, but it will be then, and then we would like to do a kids football camp.
Right.
Also, that week after, GHSA has a statewide open date before the first round.
Right.
So we'd love to get the guys out here from 4 to 12 and age group and get them out there and just hang out with them for a day.
Absolutely. And again, I know a lot of times people don't realize the impact that these players have on the smaller children, because to these kids in the elementary and middle, they're like heroes to them, just like when I watch the Falcons. There are not a lot of heroes there, but hopefully there will be this year. Again, I look at that and think I'm in awe of them. I mean, so it's really big. So, again, Coach, we really look forward to having that clinic, and again, it'll be a great time.
Yeah, I'm excited to do that, and I think here in pretty soon we'll be coming to see the elementary school and come have breakfast with those guys. And,
that's great.
And love up on them a little bit.
Have a wonderful time. I also want to mention one thing, Coach, and you may want to mention this, and then I promise I'll hush and we'll get out of here. But the Telfair Gridiron supporters on Facebook do an awesome job of keeping us informed about whether it's a JV game or pictures of some of the kids that again, that get a pregame meal, and they put out who does that. So, again, I know
Right.
that you're very pleased with this group, the Gridiron supporters, Telfair Gridiron supporters.
Absolutely, it's a great way. I know it's so hard sometimes to get information out there. I know you
Oh,
experience
yeah.
with teenage boys; they don't always inform everything.
That's
so
right.
it's a great way where we can get information out to the parents, we can get information out to the entire community if there's some kind of update. But it's also a way to brag on our boys and
Yes.
positive things that are going on in our community and with these young men, because I know I'm proud of them, and I know this
Sure.
community's proud of them, so we want to brag on them when we can.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, thank you so much. Again, we're doing this on a Wednesday, again, after practice. So, again, we really appreciate the effort Coach Burleson does to come and meet with us. And, Coach, we really appreciate all you do for the team and for us.
Well, thank you. We also, a lot of former Trojans who are playing college ball, they're starting college. There was some games last weekend, kind of a
Right.
teaser. But this weekend is the big start. So Devin McCrae,
Yeah.
they're playing on Friday versus Kennesaw State. Jordan B.B. McCrae, they're
Right.
at Louisiana Tech. I cannot remember who they're playing. Now they start this weekend. Quay Powell, he's a running back up at Union College.
God, this is
They
incredible.
play tomorrow.
Wow.
J-Rock, Jalen
Yeah.
Clemens, he's over at Anderson University. I know they're playing this weekend. You got Sammy Grimes, he's over at Brevard. They're getting going this weekend. He's starting. And then Big D-Ray, David
Yes.
Sean Bryant, he's playing at Barrien College. So we've got a lot of guys out there, and I know they're all getting rolling this weekend. So, we want to wish those guys good
Oh,
luck.
absolutely.
Not only this weekend, but upcoming season, and we're proud of you and keep doing good things. And
Sure.
also, Jabari and Braden, they're out there at the Air Force Academy.
Right.
And I think might be this Friday. They've got like a scrimmage game
Good.
this weekend as well. So they're rolling out there. So, we're excited about all these young men that are going out and, getting an education and getting to play some ball too. And I know the hometown's proud of them.
Oh, absolutely. And again, Jabari and them, they actually watched some of the game last week. They sent a comment in to
good,
us. So,
good.
again, so we really appreciated that. So, again, we wish good luck to all of them. And I know it's got to be deeply gratifying when you're able to hear not just that they're playing games, but they're in a college and that they're working hard and moving on in life.
That's right.
It's a wonderful thing. Want to thank our sponsors here for the Coach Matt Burleson Show. Want to thank Merchants and Citizens Bank, Baby C, Baby Do, Willie and Patricia Holly, Gage Harrelson Contractors, Graham Insurance Company, Telfair Snapshots, Family Medical Care, Dion with Dion's Triple Threat, Willow Creek Restaurant, Fat Boys Camo, Stamps Walker Insurance Agency, the Golden Isles Healthcare, Riles Drugstore, LG Custom Services, Sunny Smiles Pet Grooming, Joy's Florist and Gifts. Also, State Farm Insurance Agency, Your Choice Healthcare McRae, Riles Outfitters, Cedar Lane Supper Club, the Telfair Rec Department, Deep and Deeper Cleaning, Friends of Little Old Muggy State Park, Telfair Chamber of Commerce. Again, Deep Productions really appreciates this. This is almost like a community thing with so many businesses here doing it. And again, just one more time, please register your child, whether it's for football, cheerleading, tennis. Get them out there active in some of these fall sports. And again, if you would, check out telfairrec.com, and that way you'll be able to see where your child fits, the registration fee of $45, and again, how this actually operates. Any questions, as we said earlier, please call Tony Young, the rec director, at 229-318-0661. And again, on behalf of Coach Burleson, thanks for joining us, and we'll be back next week talking about hopefully a good win over Barrien. I almost forgot the name. All right. Have a great day, everybody.